Hola y bienvenidos a la clase. Hoy vamos a discutir showing preference and agreement in español. We're going to start with our verb deber. Deber means should. It is one of the only infinitives in Spanish that doesn't in English take the word to. We just simply say should. That's because in English, should is a helping verb, not an action verb. However, deber is an infinitive, and it conjugates just like any other ER infinitive. Yo, we drop the ER and we add O. So yo, debo. Tú, debes, we add our ES. Él, ella, usted, we drop the ER and add E, debe. Nosotros, we add EMOS, debemos. Vosotros, add E with an accent, IS, debes. And ellos, ellas, ustedes, we drop the ER and we add EN, deben. That's all there is to it. Pretty easy. Now, with deber, we usually use it with another verb. For example, we could use it with comer. Debo, comer, would translate in English to I should eat. I'm feeling a little hungry? Debo comer. I could do the same thing with debes. I can add comer. Debes comer. You should eat. Perhaps you were a little hungry. Notice when I put debo with comer, I leave comer in its infinitive form. That's because the rule in English and in Spanish is that if you have the first verb conjugated, the second verb stays in its infinitive form. Sometimes people remember this by remembering this little phrase. When two verbs go walking, the first one does the talking, or in this case, the conjugating. And that is deber. Another verb to know is the verb preferir. Preferir means to prefer. You may notice that with preferir, there's this funny little thing over here that says E to IE. That's because preferir is what's known as a stem-changing verb. We're actually going to start with our nosotros and vosotros form. Because in our nosotros and vosotros form, we don't have to do anything special. We do what we always do. So I'm noticing right now that preferir is an IR verb. Because it's an IR verb, it's going to take the IR ending in the nosotros and vosotros form. The IR ending in the nosotros form is IMOS. So for nosotros, it's preferimos. I drop the IR, I add IMOS. In the vosotros form, I'm going to add I accent S, preferis. Notice it looks a lot like preferimos, just my ending is different. However, when I do the other four forms, the ones that were covered in red, I have to take an extra little step. Not only do I have to add the ending, like for example in the yo form, the O, I also have to change this second E right here to IE, just as it says right here. So in the yo form, I'm going to make it prefiero. P-R-E-F, change that E to I-E, R, and add my O. Same in the to form. I'm going to add ES just like I normally would, but this second E is going to become IE, prefieres. In the LA usted form, I'm going to add my E, just like I always would, but this second E once again is going to become IE, prefiere. And you guessed it, in the ellos, ellas, ustedes form, not only will I add en, but I will change this E to IE for prefieren. Sometimes people have trouble remembering which forms change, the yo, the tu, the LA usted, and the ellos, ellas, ustedes, and which forms don't, the nosotros and the vosotros. Remember, they just keep their E. So there's a little trick that we know, and that is to make a boot or a shoe. If I draw around the forms that change the E to IE, I make what looks like a shoe or a boot. So sometimes these types of verbs, the ones that change E to IE on one of the letters, one of the E's in it, are known as shoe verbs or boot verbs. It's kind of a fun little fact. The last thing we're going to talk about are some phrases that help you agree and disagree. The first phrase is creo que. Creo que means I think, and I can put anything I want after I think. If I think that you are pretty, I can say creo que tú eres bonito, or bonita if you're a girl. If I think you are right, I can say creo que tú tienes razón. It's that simple. Notice in this case I do conjugate the second verb, but that's because of the que. I'm not putting two verbs right next to each other like I do in deber. Two other useful phrases are creo que sí and creo que no. Creo que sí just simply means I think so. And creo que no, I don't think so. I say that all the time to my kids. And our last phrase is estoy de acuerdo. Acuerdo is kind of funny to say, so try it. Acuerdo. That's right. Keep practicing that because it is a tongue twister. Estoy de acuerdo means I agree, like I agree with you. No estoy de acuerdo means I don't agree. It's kind of funny to say that in English, but in Spanish it's pretty normal. So estoy de acuerdo is a good phrase to know. That's all there is for today. I'll be seeing you soon.